Hey everyone, Andrew for PokerSavvy Plus. Again, this is part one of. I'm not sure how many parts, to be honest. At least three, maybe more, depending on how many cool hands I can find to brag about in my database. But this series is going to be all about bluffing. From a micro stakes perspective, I haven't really seen too many video series which concern purely the mechanics of bluffing. I've seen a lot of video series which deal with like specific turn and river spots and all the rest of it, but especially for micro stakes, I think that bluffing is generally something which is you're just told not to do really because oh hey people never fold and you have no fold equity and people are calling stations, just play straightforward, play tight. I've said it before, but I think that's pretty terrible advice. So what I'm aiming to do with this series is just give you a bit of a framework as to how to approach your thinking in situations where we don't have a hand and we think our opponent is going to fold. Particularly at micro stakes, the lack of quality of the opponents gives us some pretty cool opportunities to take advantage of the mistakes that they make in their, particularly in their hand reading skills and their inability to hand read. So I'm going to go through just some hands from my database. I bluff like a reasonable amount, just because I like to try out new stuff and learn from my mistakes. So I do sort of put myself out there a reasonable amount. So there should be some pretty cool hands to go through. But yeah, this first video is going to be about half theory and then half hand review, just because there is some groundwork that we need to cover, just to give you a framework of understanding before we get into the hand histories. So I'm going to go ahead and do this theory part, then we'll review some hands at the end of the video, and then for parts 2 onwards we'll just be doing straight hand reviews. Okay, so I'm going to get on with the theory now. I'm just going to break the video and then I'll continue. Alright, so first of all, what we need to do is just go over the basics, the basic theoretical aspects of bluffing. So, bluffing, really simple definition. Obviously, a bluff is where you bet with the intention of your opponent folding a better hand. That's obviously how we define it as a bluff. Bluffing is definitely overrated and hugely misunderstood. I think that people generally get a lot of ego involved in bluffing. They just want to make people fold to prove that they're the man or whatever. But it's hugely overrated. I don't think that a good player's bluffing frequency, I think, would be reasonably low, just because they should have a relatively good balance between their bluffs and their value bets. That in turn will make their bluffs more credible, but that's another story. So yeah, just generally, I just want to say that it's pretty overrated. And if you never bluff, that's certainly not a problem at micro stakes at all. It's a skill that you can learn as and when you move up. But if you're the kind of person who doesn't bluff now, good game as far as I'm concerned. You probably are a lot more solid and have a higher win rate than someone who bluffs without understanding what they're doing.